Hello everyone and welcome to my Wealth Odyssey. In this video I want to review my first year of investing and chasing that dream of achieving £1 million. After a financial reset I started January with nothing, and in my long-term ISA I finished the year with £19,962.08. Of that money I contributed £16,000 from my salaried job, and that equates to a 21.6% return, which is absolutely fantastic. So the S&P usually returns 10% a year, and my aim on this channel, if you've looked at my other videos, is a 15% yearly return. So to beat that is a really nice start in year one. Also, that 21% is based upon my final figure, so for the most part of the year, for example, on June, my account balance was only around about £6,000 or £7,000. So yeah, fantastic to see such a strong start to my investing journey. Next, I've got my trading ISA. So this is a completely new ISA that I've set up in the last week or so, and I've deposited £1,000 into that ISA, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Next, we've got the premium bonds. So I use this as part of my emergency fund, and the second part of my emergency fund is a cash reserve. So we ended the year with a closing balance of £1,800 within my premium bonds, and I've won absolutely nothing, so I'm hoping that changes this year. And I've got a very small cash reserve of £50, which understandably I'm looking to grow during the year as well. So that leaves a final balance of £22,812.08, which is a fantastic start to my journey. So what are my goals for 2026? Well, the first one is that I want to fully max out my stocks and shares ISA for the year. I have £6,000 remaining, so I'm hoping to add £2,000 in January, February and March to fully max out my ISA, and that's a nice goal to start off the year rather than thinking about a full calendar year goal. My emergency fund, well, that's only sitting at £1,850, so my plan is to really concentrate on that as well. I would like to get to an emergency fund of around about £5,000 to £6,000 spread across my premium bonds and also my cash reserve, so I can easily access money if I need it. Next is the bulk of my wealth, which sits within my two stocks and shares ISAs, and my aim is to add £12,000 to £15,000 across the entire calendar year. So for my long-term portfolio, I want to contribute from my salaried job around about £10,000 if possible, and my appreciation target in the portfolio is 25%, so eclipsing the 21% that I got this year in 2025. Now that is a best case scenario. I don't know what the markets are going to do, but that's just a hope on my part. So if I manage to achieve contributions of £10,000 and I'm sitting around about £20,000 at the start of the year, I should be on about £30,000, and with an appreciation of 25%, I'm looking at around about £35,000 to £40,000 end of year goal. And my brand new second ISA, which I'm calling my trading ISA, it's going to have a slightly different wealth strategy. So I'm going to be holding stocks for shorter time periods based on trading indicators. As you've seen in the previous table, I've got £1,000 sitting there in cash at the moment, and I'm hoping to contribute a further £4,000, bringing that ISA up to £5,000. Again, another appreciation target of around 25%, and my hope is that by the end of the year I can grow that ISA value to between £6,000 and £10,000. So that would mean that across the two ISAs, if I hit the upper end of my targets, I would be sitting at a total wealth in terms of stocks and shares ISAs of £50,000. Now, I've been reading a number of investment and psychology books around trading in 2025, and I made some mistakes, and I think everyone will go through making mistakes and also making some good decisions. But now that my portfolio is growing to around about £20,000, I really want to start making good financial decisions and adhering to trading rules so that I maximize my potential profits but also minimize any losses. So over the Christmas period, I sat down, had a really good think about this, and for my long-term ISA portfolio, my plan is to never buy at highs. I tend to go for stocks that I've researched that are going to be more volatile, potentially to the upside, but also to the downside. So I'm never going to chase those highs. I'm never going to chase those green candles. And if I like a stock and I think it's got potential, I will only invest in that stock if there has been a minimum of a 50% correction. Or I'm happy to leave. I'm happy to leave that trade. And if it carries on going up, well, then that's okay. The market always will present more opportunities in the future. My max position per stock is going to be £3,000. I don't want to get into a position where I keep investing into one stock and let's just say something goes incredibly wrong and it goes to zero overnight and I've lost all of my money. So I really want to spread my risk and have a max position of £3,000 invested. The maximum I can actually add to a certain stock position is £1,000 in a month. Again, I made a mistake in December where I added £2,000 to my Arkit quantum computing play. That was good because I brought down my average cost. However, the actual stock price continued to fall. So I actually didn't make a very good decision there. So I believe in the long term it has great potential and it will go up, but now it's just a waiting game and I could have got cheaper prices. And in this portfolio, there will be no leveraged stocks or ETFs. So that's where your money is potentially at risk if you hit your liquidation point. Yes, you can make more money more quickly. However, that is not the goal of this channel. And I want to have a defensive mindset. So no leveraged stocks or ETF positions. And as soon as a stock has doubled in value, I'm quite happy to set a trailing take profit. And if the stock comes down, then I will sell my initials. And I was really good in 2025 in terms of doing that. I had 3 big successes in terms of the quantum computing market. And psychologically, it's a lot easier, guys, when you know that you're only playing with house money now. So I've got my initials back, ready for my next plays. But now all of that money is sitting in the stocks and I'm quite happy to hold those for 4, 5, 6 years. And I genuinely think that these stocks will go on to do really great things. Yes, you could say that I'm minimizing my potential gains. However, I'm using a defensive strategy. I'm quite happy to take my initials out after I've reached 100% gain and let the free money ride. The only caveat is that if I get a signal that a bear market is happening, I'm not saying that that's going to happen in 2026, but if we do exit a bear market, I would like to make my positions a little bit faster than £1,000 a month to maximize my gains. Finally, with my brand new trading ISA, my plan is to build a contributed value of £5,000 in 2026. I will only have a maximum position of £500 in each of my stock plays. Again, no leverage stocks or ETFs, and I will only buy when I get the buy indicator. And that's great because it takes the emotion out of trading. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how this experiment goes. If there is no setup, then there is no trade. And I'm going to be quite happy to sit potentially for 6 months if I don't get those indicators, to just sit in cash and wait for my opportunity. That's one thing that I did last year, is that I was looking at the charts every day. I felt like I wanted to make more moves, and I did, and that was to my detriment. So the hardest thing is actually not to trade. So I'm going to be very strict with these rules. So I'm only going to trade once I get the indicator. And then as soon as I get a sell indicator, I will sell everything. And I won't just sell my initials and let the free money ride. I will sell everything, go into cash and wait for my next opportunity. Now, in the best case scenario, I hit my £10,000 value in the portfolio this year. And when that happens, the only thing that's going to change is that my max position now will go from £500 to £1,000. So each trade will be 10%. Who knows if we even get there, but yeah, that's the plan. And those are the rules that I'm setting myself for 2026. And I will do a video at the end of next year to see how I've got on in terms of my goals and how well I've respected my trading rules. So yeah, so I hope that was useful. Yeah, what are your goals for the coming year and what are your trading rules as well? Because I'm always interested to hear from other people and learn from other people. So none of this is financial advice, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. Your capital is always at risk when you invest in things. It's just what I'm doing and my plans for the coming year. I wish everyone a very healthy and prosperous 2026. And can my wealth odyssey accelerate during the year? Yeah, of course it can. Digga dagger, guys.